Good morning, everybody. I'm making my first how-to video, and unfortunately the sound didn't work on the first recording, so I'm doing a voiceover, so don't mind my mouth moving at different speeds. I was fighting the rain that day too, so it was just a quick little video. So eco prints on watercolor paper, which I use a heavyweight paper, hot press so it's nice and smooth. I also use gouache paint with this so that I can get it to act like a watercolor but dry like an acrylic. And the three colors that I chose were Prussian blue, mauve, and black for this one. I usually try to stay within the same color range just so that I don't get muddy prints because they do mix in this. After this, I went around and picked some leaves from my yard. Grape leaves, nasturtium, brain flower. We got a rhubarb leaf, anything that has a nice vein impression, things like that. So that is how we get started here. I also mix the gouache kind of watery, so it acts more like a runny watercolor rather than a stiff acrylic. So that's about what we have going for supplies, and I will show you what I do from there. And here we have my papers that have been sitting in the water, sitting just on a protected table. And I've got some leaves here to start working with. And this is my collaboration with chaos, how I work with Mother Nature. I get to pick colors and things, and we'll go from there. But that is a pokeweed leaf from my yard. And I'm going to use the top of the leaf. You can use either side to do it, but I'm going to do the top and just paint the top of it with the gouache. And as you can see, the paper's got a lot of water on it. This is going to have a lot of water on it. This is actually an outdoor painting activity for me. I would not do this in my house because I'm a messy one. You'll watch me and see how messy I am. Splash, splash, paint, paint. Ooh, I did the back side first, I guess. And here I can rearrange it. There's color on the paper. There's lots of water for it to move around. I'll add some to the edges. I'll paint the back sides because I do put another piece of watercolor on top. It's usually a dry piece of watercolor just to see. But as you can see, there's lots and lots of water and lots of paint. So I do use paper towel and things to sop up some of that. Gives it a little bit more interesting texture in there. Gives me a little bit of control where color goes, although the gouache will hold on to the paper. That right there. Oh, maybe the first one was a comfrey and this is the pokeweed. But whatever it is, they're leaves from my yard. Nice big leaves to fit the page. Sometimes I do more than one leaf, but a lot of times I'll just do one for its own individual pattern on there. And I'll just put this one on there and then fill in, paint on there with the rest of the paints to fill up the blank spaces, to add paint to the other side of the leaves. And we'll just put it in all over there and just have some fun. You can do things, add different colors. The paint will move around a bit. It's just a lot of fun here. And I just go through and paint until I'm happy with it. And once I am happy with it, I grab another sheet of watercolor paper. And this is a dry one. And I'll just place it on top. And I do more than one piece of paper at a time. So the next one, I'm going to be using a rhubarb leaf. This is a smaller rhubarb leaf from my rhubarb plant. I take the stems off so they're not so bulky. And I do the same thing. This one here, I think I just used the rhubarb by itself. And once again, I will just paint it. You can paint more than one color on the back. I'm not sure if I do that on this one. And just color it and place it right back down again. Here, just remember painting around the edges. The paint will seep into the underneath, and also just to get that plant saturated to stay down on the page. Not that I do use weights later, but you can kind of arrange the way that it lays on there. And I added more than one color on the back of the rhubarb leaf, so we'll get some variation. I'll add some pictures in here too. And as you can see, it's a big messy thing. It's everywhere, so don't be afraid to get messy. That's why I love this. I like making messy art, collaborating with nature in my garden, so enjoy that process. And here I am again putting just a dry watercolor down, showing you just how messy it is. My hands were pink for the rest of the day, purple. And then these will be stacked and left to dry. Usually overnight. That it's been really humid where I live, so it'll take a little bit. But this is the wet process that I do, and it makes some fun pictures. Alrighty, this is just, again, showing the process. 2 wet pieces of paper. There's some leaves from my garden. One of them will have more than one set of leaves I grabbed. I believe that they are grape leaves from my yard. And I took the stems off of these also, but I have 3 of them, and I'm going to use them all together on this one thing. And again, I'm just going to paint on them in different colors and just place them right down on that wet paper. And I also do this process with a dry bottom paper so that both watercolor papers are dry. So this is just showing you I'm cleaning up my water mess because it's everywhere. But this is just a dry sheet of paper. And I am going to super soak the next leaves to be able to get them on there and put a dry piece of paper right over it. One of the reasons I like to do this is you don't get as much paint on there and you can layer. So the prints made from here will most likely be layered once it's dry. I will do another layer of different colors that, you know, might go more with it or whatnot. And these are nice round leaves and they're beautiful, and here we go. Okay, so this is how the prints look afterward. When they're dry, there's a bottom one, a top dry sheet, and it's just some examples of the work of how they look and how they can look. A wet bottom, a dry top. This next one is another wet bottom with the 3 leaves. You can see how they blend in there. Also, this is one of the things I do with them. I will also go through and I will add more color later. So that is how I make all of my prints to use as backgrounds and to start including in other art. Once the gouache is dry, it acts like acrylic, so you can put another layer of paint on there, whether it's another set of the eco prints with the leaves or you watercolor on your own. As you can see, I add ink to them later, and I will add watercolor probably to some of them later. So I hope you enjoyed my project. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time through My Green Cauldron or here or wherever you're watching this. Have a great day.